see show on our brand new home on StreamYard.com. Hello, friends. It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, joined by my elite panel, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, the Twisted Angel DB
Hello, friends.
Winston,
It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, joined by my elite panel.
Edie, you, Mike. Yes. So here we are on our brand new home here on StreamYard.com. We had some difficulties with our previous site, YouNow.com, but because of that, it was getting very frustrating, especially after the difficulties we had during our SummerSlam recap show. But before we get into tonight's festivities, I just want to say, the show we did last night, even with the difficulties and everything else, I can honestly say that was one of the most fun shows we've ever done in all these years that we've been doing this. So that was a fun time last night. But we're going to have some more fun here tonight. So welcome, everyone, to our brand new home here on StreamYard.com. As you all know, back on the 1st of this month, Google Hangouts on YouTube, our previous home, our home for many, many years, shut down, and we had to find a new home. We were going to use this site, but we couldn't figure out Michael Bullock. We couldn't find a way to get him in, but MF found a loophole, and we were able to get Bullock in after all. So hallelujah, praise the Lord. So here we are, and and for those of you who may be new to our show, what we do each and every week here on Ridiculously Raw is we review Monday Night Raw. And after that, I give my thoughts on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling in a segment that I call the Tony's Take, and then we call in the night. So with all that being said, let's dive right on into this edition of Monday Night Raw this evening, which was live once again from the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, exclusively on the USA Network. The fallout from the SummerSlam. And we started it off with our brand new Universal Champion. Man, I still can't believe I'm saying that. Seth Rollins, coming off of his surprise victory over Brock Lesnar last night. And he gets interrupted by the phenomenal AJ Styles and the OC. And AJ Styles challenges Seth Rollins to a match. And we're like, wait a minute, it can't be a title match because AJ's already got a belt. But, the traditional champion versus champion match. So, it'll be interesting to see if they set up another Rollins versus Styles title match for Clash of the Champions, or if they were just filling some time on the night after SummerSlam before moving into the build for the next pay-per-view, which will be on September the 15th, the Clash of the Champions at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, the home of the Hornets. And most importantly, I got to be honest, Seth Rollins came off very well during this promo, and I like the way he's making the fans feel like they had a role in his win. So, this was a very well done segment. I would say this was the second best segment of the night. One segment on this show later on. Oh boy, that's all I'm going to say on that. And I see by the Cheshire Cat grin on MF's face that he knows what I'm talking about. So that's all there is to say on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to good old MF Michael Fletcher, who serves as the host of our sister show, the Cerebral Smack Talk. And MF, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, here we go again.
Yeah, and this was a very good way to start the show off. This was a solid segment, to say the very least, and it was enjoyable. It was a very enjoyable. Seth Rollins, a believable champion. I think a lot of people will like that as well. But there was a little bit of there was some people that was kind of thought that, I'm sorry, that Rollins was boring, that they weren't really they're not too thrilled that he is the Universal Champion again. I alluded to it last night, that some people were not happy that Seth won the title over Brock Lesnar. And some people actually preferred Brock Lesnar to still be Universal Champion over Seth Rollins. I know that came very hard to believe, but there were some people out there that actually did like Lesnar better than Rollins. So, I mean, To each his own is what we say about that. At the end of the day, I was a little surprised to see AJ Styles come out with the OC and to pick a fight with the reigning champion. But maybe this is what Monday Night Raw needs. Top quality matches, good competitors who's really gonna lay it on the line, and this is gonna be an interesting matchup. So at the end of the day, I thought it was beautifully done. So nothing more to say. Let's toss it to the phenom of our crew, Mr. Michael Bullock. Bullock, it's all yours, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely say, this was definitely a good segment to start off this edition of Monday Night Raw. This was. I like what Seth Rollins, what he was talking about tonight, and how he became a beast slayer 2 times now. And then it became very interesting when AJ Styles came out and challenged him to a match, and Seth Rollins accepted. So, yeah, certainly can't wait to see what happens later on. But yeah, second best segment of the night. One segment, like you said, was definitely better, and one that I'm sure our good old friend here, Michael Fletcher, is going to be, well, smiling like a Cheshire cat. We'll get to that when we get there. So, Dee Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, this was a very good segment to start off with. Fine baby face promo after the win for Seth. And having AJ come out, do the challenge, made everybody look forward to something exciting for the main event. So I have nothing negative to say about it. This would be about the second best of the night on the segment. So yeah, not else I'm going to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right, and just a little footnote. We can shut our cameras off and we can make this a radio type show, because that's what I've been trying to do over on our YouTube. But to each our own. So, but anywho, before we get into our first match of the night, it's very rare I do this, but it's a very important news and views that was announced during this show here tonight, and a very exciting announcement, to say the very least. My friends, the King of the Ring tournament is back. Whoa! How do we feel about this? Excitement personified, wouldn't you say, MF?
It's been a long time coming for all of us to see the King of the Ring. It's been a few years since we've seen the King of the Ring. The last time we had a tournament like this, it was Sheamus, who was the last man standing to win it all. So to hear that the King of the Ring was coming back, trust me, I was very excited to hear it. I really would like to know what the format's going to look like this year for King of the Ring. I guess we're going to have to find out and wait and see, but I guess we'll find out next Monday night, because that's when supposedly the tournament's going to begin. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see how this plays out.
Michael Bullock?
I think you stand corrected, Fletch. It was actually Wade Barrett who was the last King of the Ring.
2015, right?
Yeah, because remember, he had that role as King Barrett. So
Sheamus was before. Yeah, Sheamus was what, 2012, 2013, something like that? 2010. Oh, 2010. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I just wanted to correct that. But
I'm looking into it right now, and now we'll figure. Well, actually, I just found it. I don't know how the bracket looks, but actually, hold on. They have announced. There's going to be 16 total competitors altogether, 8 from Raw, 8 from SmackDown Live, and the names are as follows: representing Monday Night Raw, in no particular order: Baron Corbin, Cesaro, Cedric Alexander, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and The Miz. And representing SmackDown Live, we've got Ali, Andrade, Apollo Crews, Buddy Murphy, Chad Gable, Elias, Kevin Owens, and Shelton Benjamin. No word yet on the full details of the tournament, but we will certainly keep you updated. So there's your field. Unfortunately, we don't have a bracket at this time, but as soon as we get a bracket, we'll definitely pass the contents of that to you folks. So Didi Whitson, do you have a quick thought? Since MF and Bullock shared a quick thought, King of the Ring coming back. How excited are you about it?
Very excited. It's been a while since we've seen one. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see who's actually going to come out on top this time. So nothing else to say.
Absolutely, and I already have a bold prediction in mind. My gut is telling me Drew McIntyre, but then again, you may never know. So, but we'll get into it as the weeks as it progresses. It starts next Monday night on Raw, which will emanate live from the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota, the home of the NHL's Minnesota Wild. So, we'll wait and see on that. So, very exciting to say the very least. And on behalf of all four of us here on the Wrestling Forum, Ridiculously Raw, Cerebral Smack Talk, what have you, we are all very excited. So, thank you, WWE, for actually doing something very exciting for a change. That's great. We love it. So, that's all there is to say on that. All right. First match of the evening, it's a cutout match. Now, what I mean by a cutout is whenever there's a match that's insanely short, we don't bother talking about it, because we want to, we don't want to waste time on unnecessary things. So it was Samoa Joe against Sami Zayn. They had a backstage incident, and Samoa Joe squashed Sami Zayn in 45 seconds. And I really hope they have a good plan in place for Samoa Joe as a heel, because it felt like the fans were more than ready to embrace him as a babyface before he shot him down. And I thought they were turning him babyface, but oh well. But anywho, then we had The Miz against Dolph Ziggler. Miz wins the match, 3 minutes and 50 seconds, figure four. And just when you think the Dolph Ziggler character couldn't be a bigger loser, he decides that losing isn't enough. No, he needs to get his ass kicked even after he loses matches. But he may be progressing since he called Goldberg back twice last night at SummerSlam and only had Miz humiliate him one more time tonight with a skull-crushing finale. So, Dolph Ziggler. What else is there to say? Then we had Elias. Now, for those who didn't know, last night in the SummerSlam, during the kickoff show, Elias was doing his usual shtick and whatnot, and he got interrupted by a WWE Hall of Famer and Toronto, Ontario, Canada's own rated R superstar, Edge. And Edge speared him. I didn't think Edge could take any more bumps after he had to retire 8.5 years ago. But, man, he looked good. That's all there is to say on that. So, but tonight, it was not a Hall of Famer or a legend. It was Ricochet. Ricochet interrupted Elias, and it led into a match with Ricochet and Elias. Ricochet won the match, 3 minutes, 25 seconds. Sunset flip. But Ricochet, I'm just glad he didn't have that bodysuit there. There was a botch in the match. It was really rough, and the finish was just strange, and it seemed like it was a planned finish, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now we're going to have some fun here. 2 out of 3 falls, Intercontinental rules, Rey Mysterio against Andrade, and Andrade wins the match, 5 minutes, 35 seconds. MF, your boy won in 2 straight falls.
It's very rare to see a match end in two falls in a row, but it did. And this ended emphatically. Look, hats off to Rey Mysterio for fighting in this match. He did pretty well himself, but when you got El Idolo, Andrade, look, he's rising up the ranks, definitely in WWE. When is this guy going to get a title shot for the for the Intercontinental title on SmackDown Live. Come on, guys. This guy deserves the opportunity at the belt now. I mean, he just eliminated a legend. Rey Mysterio, 2 falls in a row and finished him off in 5 minutes. Man, 2.5 stars for me. This was beautifully done. Well done. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.5 stars as well. I mean, yeah, on Andrade, I mean, he dominated the legendary Rey Mysterio. So, but yeah, I could say the same thing for especially with Fletch, what just mentioned. I mean, when's he going to get a title opportunity? I really hope so, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, nothing more to say. Dee, Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. Not going to add too much more to it, so let's move on.
Yeah, 2.5 star match for me. The only downside is this was not as fun as their previous matches because it was so brief. And while it's sad to see Mysterio losing so much lately, I'm happy to see this was not a parody booking situation where they had Mysterio get the win back. WWE has a shortage of strong heels because of their bad booking. So is this possibly a step in the right direction for Andrade? Could Andrade be crowned King of the Ring? You never know. I mean, he's definitely high on my list of favorites to win. I mean, my main favorite is Drew McIntyre, but if I had to pick a second, Andrade would be a very strong contender. And if they have him win King of the Ring, that could be the shot in the arm, MF, that he needs. Because I know, I mean, we're all high on Andrade, obviously, because he's got the looks, he's got the talent and everything else. But he just needs that little nudge. And when you win the King of the Ring tournament, you become an immediate player. And if Andrade wins the King of the Ring, I know that'll make MF a very happy guy because not only how high MF is on Andrade, but also the fact that he's a SmackDown guy. So, we'll just have to wait and see. But I would not be disappointed at all. I would not be discouraged at all if they gave Andrade the King of the Ring. I would be okay with that 100%. All right. Then we had Drew McIntyre against Cedric Alexander. Drew McIntyre wins the match, 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Michael Bullock, come on in. We had our Raw chat this evening, and I'll tell you what, not many of the matches were good tonight, but as far as this one goes, you can make an argument that this was the fight of the night. What action here? What about that chop? That chop by McIntyre during the match, Tope con Hilo, so many other great things about this match.
Yeah, we saw so many really good things tonight in this match. I mean, yeah, the chop, the Tope con Hilo. I mean, I could go on and on and on about it, but yeah, I mean, it was a little over 8 minutes, but I think in that time, I thought it really served its purpose. So I'm going to give it about 3.25, 3.5. I mean, I love what I saw in this match. The action was good. The crowd was hot for this match. So you know what? I gotta tip my hat off to both of these men. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it about 3.5. It was really good. Alexander lost, yes, but it looked great the way they did it. I don't think that we're quite done with these two, but we've had a lot of just like with Rey and Andrade, they fought each other quite a bit. I'm sure there's a lot of people that's at that go home stage of it. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
3.5 stars, and I'm going to go as far as to say this was the fight of the night. This was a really, really good television match, friends. This really was. McIntyre got the win as he should have, but Alexander looked good in defeat. And man alive, I mean, the Tope con Hilo, I mean, by Cedric Alexander, nobody does it better than he does right now. the chop by McIntyre, so many great near falls. It had a feel and an element of Shakespearean drama in it, and this would make a great King of the Ring match. I'll say that for sure, without a doubt. I'd love to see these two go at it again in a King of the Ring tournament bout. Absolutely. So there's really nothing left for me to say on this. 3.5 stars for me. This was the fight of the night, and MF, you remember back in the day when we used to have our Raw chats and, we would do the commentary a la JR and the King. I mean, you remember whenever somebody did like a vicious knife edge chop or something and we could hear the effect, we would do our whoa, and I would say, did you hear that? And what would you say?
Did you hear that? Did you feel that? That was one of the things I would say, but yeah, no, absolutely. Good grief is all I could say about that. Yeah, no, it was I gotta say, this was really good. This was nicely done with everything included. So no, I got nothing bad to say. I think it was something that we all expected, something that I don't think none of us really thought it was gonna pan out. But no, this is one of the top fights of the night. I think we can all agree with that. So yeah, I would give this 3.5 stars. I thought this was really, really, really good fight. Nothing more to say. And yeah, let's just move on, guys. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
Yes. And then from there, we had another cutout match, but hey, we saw someone that we haven't seen in quite a while. It's been a minute since we've seen this guy, the Glorious One, Robert Roode, in a quick squash over No Way Jose. He beat him in 1:25 with the Glorious DDT. And then we had a tag team match, the Revival against the Lucha House Party members, Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado. That's an NA no contest. 24/7 silliness came out of this, including the Revival being 24/7 champions. But that didn't last long. R-Truth won it back, and then in a backstage skit, Truth and Carmella, I guess, were doing a 7-second dance break, and then Elias nails R-Truth from behind with the guitar, and Elias picks up the win, and Elias is now your brand new 24/7 champion. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. All right. Are you ready? We are about to get into what was beyond the shadow of a doubt, the segment of the night. And I know all four of us are in agreement on this. There are no words, as Mauro Ranallo once famously said. And, I'll try my best. I shall do my best, Ben Stein. But here we go. It was Natalya. And you notice Natalya had her arm in a sling. I guess now I don't know. I was saying to Bullock during our Raw chat, I was saying, is there a chance that she was just selling the effects, or was she legitimately injured? But I guess now we know she was legitimately injured. She said she had a dislocated elbow and that she was going to have an MRI tomorrow. And then Natty got emotional, obviously, because this actually does mark the 1-year anniversary of the passing of her father, the legendary Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who went into the Hall of Fame earlier this year with his brother-in-law and Natty's uncle, Bret the Hitman Hart, as part of the legendary Hart Foundation. And, Natty got emotional, and, I was feeling that emotion as well. And then all of a sudden, you hear the music, and you hear Michael Cole emphatically say it, maybe the loudest he ever said it. It's boss time. Yes, Sasha Banks is back, and she is back in a big way. Well, first she hugged Natty, and they had a little emotional embrace, obviously because of this being the 1-year anniversary of Jim the Anvil's passing. But then shortly after that, heel turn, Sasha Banks goes to town on Natty, beats the holy you-know-what out of her. And you could hear some pervert in the crowd saying, "You look so good, baby." Yeah, she certainly did look good, baby. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that, perv. You're absolutely right, brother. No doubt. But then Becky Lynch comes out, And then the fight was on. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. You've seen the war of words these two have had on their Twitters over the last several weeks and months, ever since, Sasha, disappeared after her and Bayley lost the women's tag team titles to the Iconics at WrestleMania 35. So I think, for all intents and purposes, my friends, I think we're looking at Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship at the Clash of the Champions on September the 15th. MF, I'll save you the trip. Shut up and take my damn money. That's it. So, and I believe it's Michael Bullock who starts it off, I believe. So, Bullock, Raw chat. I mean, we were getting a little snoozy, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was boss time once again. So Bullock, come on in. How do you follow this?
I don't even know how the heck you follow that. I mean, like you said, Natalya was getting emotional, and it looked like, excuse me. She talking about everything she went through, and then you heard the music, and Sasha Banks is back for the first time since WrestleMania 35, and then as soon as, she embraces Natalya, and then bastes her, and she's got a new hairdo, and it's blue, and, well, there's a new hairdo, and, yeah, a new attitude as well. She goes to town on the arm of Natalya. And then the man, Becky Lynch, shows up, and yeah, she didn't last too good either. So yeah, what can you say? I think you could book it. It's gonna be, we all agree it's gonna end up being Sasha Banks going up against the man, Becky Lynch, for the Raw Women's title at the Clash of the Champions. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. And segment of the night, Dee Woodson, she's back. The boss is back, and she's got a mean streak now.
That she does. She's been holding out, coming back ever since WrestleMania, and apparently whatever she was holding out for, this must have been it for her to actually come back tonight and to go, nuclear heel like she did tonight. 12 shots to Becky Lynch with a chair. That's unreal. There's not very many people who would do something like that, or even be able to take something like that. So, this is definitely segment of the night. Definitely going to lead to some sort of match between the two of them, because there's got to be some sort of retribution for Becky, for her, for Sasha hitting her 12 times. So, I have nothing else to say. Floyo, it's yours.
Oh, my word. Segment of the night. This just went into my top 3 as far as segments of the year go. This is my number 3 segment of the year, only behind Stone Cold's epic promo from the Raw reunion, and of course what we saw on that Go Home to WrestleMania show when Becky and Charlotte and Ronda raised all that hell. So, man alive, a very strong return for the boss, who becomes that strong and fresh challenger that Becky Lynch desperately needed. It sure as heck was not Lacey Evans. Natty gave it a game effort, somewhat of a step in the right direction, but this is the real shot in the arm that Becky really needs to get over as that, anti-hero champion. But, it did seem like they overestimated the appeal of Natty in Canada. The crowd turned on her before Sasha came out, and the fans absolutely showed no kind of sympathy whatsoever once Sasha attacked her. But nonetheless, heel Sasha Banks has finally arrived on the main roster, and heel Sasha Banks, in my opinion, is the best Sasha Banks without a doubt. So there's really nothing more to say on this. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. I think it's on for the Clash of the Champions on come September the 15th in Charlotte. So there's really nothing left for me to say. MF, when a big fight match, a big money match, you get the news of it. I already said it once, but I'm gonna let the man do the honors.
Well, first off, let's talk about the moment before we get to that saying. First off, Matt, I wish nothing but the best for Natalya. I hope it's not a serious injury. I hope it's not too bad, but we'll wait and see what happens there. Then the next thing we know, Sasha Banks comes out initially it was her traditional purple reddish hair, but then once she dropped it, said it was actually a wig, and revealed that new blue hair and the mean streak and the beatdown. Holy cow, man, that was unbelievable what was happening. I was shocked. I think we all were just in a state of flux of what the heck is going on. Then the unthinkable. Then when Becky Lynch showed up and she laid lumber on her with the steel chair, laying her out, beating her down with the steel chair, pummeling her. And actually, I just saw a video where one of the chairs was an unprotected shot to the head. She got cracked up in the head with one of the chair shots. I'm going to see if I can find the video and send it to you guys privately. But one of the chair shots actually ended up going high, and Becky got domed in the head with the chair. So, you want to talk about personal? This got personal and then some. So, yeah, unbelievable sight, unbelievable scene. Really nothing more to say. This was unbelievable. And, yeah, as far as that fight goes, man, WWE, shut up and take my money. Florio, it's yours.
Wow. That's all there is to say on this. I mean, this is without a doubt the big moment that this show needed. So, all right. And then we had a perfect cool down. Nothing says perfect cool down more than a Viking Raiders squash match. They squashed a couple of ham and eggers in a minute and a half. So we'll see what happens. Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. The champions, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, defending against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross successfully defend the titles. 8 minutes and 45 seconds, the time of the fall. Didi Woodson, we started with you. Your thoughts on this women's tag title match?
Yeah, I thought this was a fairly good match. It was solid. It's nice to see that that these titles are getting the attention that they deserve. You're still seeing a little bit of the arrogant Alexa Bliss, especially in the interview that happened a little earlier in the night. But it's still they still are making a pretty good team right now, and. It would have been nice to see, the Kabuki Warriors win it just because of the fact that Paige is going under surgery and kind of do it for her. But, hey, the champions just got the belts. They need to, they need to defend it a few times before they lose it. So not much more I'm going to say about it. About 2.5 star match. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 stars for me. It was a solid match. The crowd was quiet because I don't get the sense that they know how to react to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I mean, after all, they worked against heels as part of the SummerSlam kickoff show. They successfully defended against the Iconics during that. And then they worked baby faces in the Kabuki Warriors tonight. You noticed Paige wasn't there because Paige is set to undergo another neck surgery, so she'll probably be out for a little bit. So that'll leave Kairi and Asuka on their own for the time being. So we wish Paige the best as well. In addition to Natty, we know Paige will unfortunately never wrestle again, which is a damn shame because she was in the prime of her career, obviously. But But Natty, we wish her the best as well. Speedy recovery. We pray for immediate healing for her. So that's all there is to say there. So solid 2.5 to 3. The Alexa and Nikki train keeps on rolling, and it's only time will tell to see who's next for them. So nothing more to say. MF, let's get your quick thoughts.
2.5 stars, decent fight. You guys pretty much touched on everything else, so I'm not going to go any more deeper. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
What did you give the match?
2.5 stars.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. I think is the right rating for it. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So let's move on, Florio.
And we move on to the main event of the evening, the champion versus champion match. Brand new Universal Champion Seth Rollins squaring off against the United States Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles with the OC in his corner, of course. Seth Rollins wins the match via disqualification in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. This is going to have to be an automatic NA, obviously. And I got to be honest, the match did not live up to the hype because we did not see much of it, especially with the commercial break. But the post-match angle was good, and it presumably sets up a 6-man tag match because of the fact that Ricochet and Braun Strowman showed up to fend off AJ and the OC. So I really didn't come away from this main event feeling like they're building towards a Rollins versus Styles title match. Maybe they could be building towards possibly Seth Rollins against Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship at the Clash of the Champions. And who knows, maybe we get yet another AJ and Ricochet match. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. The only way we get an AJ and Rollins title match for the Clash of the Champions especially is if they somehow have AJ drop the U.S. title on a Monday Night Raw or anything before that. So, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. So it's an NA. It's obviously an NA it's going to be an NA for all of us because it was thrown out. But if any of you guys want to give a quick thought on the match, feel free, because I don't know how to go about this. If you want to get into it, we can. If not, then
I think, like you said, the fight's in NA where we don't really need to go any more deeper. But I think the question is, who's going to be the next challenger for Rollins? And maybe Braun. But the thing is that you beat a beast, and that's fine. But a monster among men? Come on, guys. Even logic doesn't make sense on this one. If Rollins fights Braun, I think we get a new Universal Champion. I just don't see how Rollins gets over that. I don't.
Well, we'll have to wait and see on that. So really nothing more to say on this. So I'm sure Bullock and Didi probably concur with that. So with that, let's get into our overall thoughts on this night after SummerSlam edition of Monday Night Raw. MF, let's start it with you here. I mean, obviously it wasn't the best show, but boy, howdy, it certainly was a newsworthy one.
Newsworthy, definitely about it. I'm actually going to give it the same rating as we gave SummerSlam last night, 7 out of 10. I think it was a good show. I think it was solid. Yeah, I mean, the action wasn't great, but yeah, we had a lot of great takeaways coming out of tonight's Monday Night Raw. The return of Sasha Banks. It looks like maybe Braun Strowman or AJ Styles has put themselves in position to be the next contender for the Universal title. There's a lot of other storylines. Yeah, there was some stupid, the 24/7, some fights really didn't deliver as the way it hopes. But as far as an all-in-all show, I thought it was pretty solid, pretty good. I don't think there was really much complaining or argument. So no, I thought they did pretty well as it relates to Monday Night Raw. So 7 out of 10, Michael Bullock, I give it to you. Mike?
I'm right here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give it about 7 out of 10 as well. I mean, it wasn't the best Raw after SummerSlam, but it was definitely newsworthy. I definitely agree with that. So, yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on everything. So let's just move on to Dee Dee for her quick thought.
Yeah, I'll agree with the rating. It wasn't the best show in the world, but hey, it was newsworthy. It came across pretty well. I mean, there was a lot of matches that they did tonight, and some of them seemed kind of rushed. Would probably be one of my bigger complaints. Of course, I always have complaints about Corey Graves. I'm not going to get into that, but still, it was a fairly good show following the pay per view. But not your greatest thing in the world. But hey, it is what it is. So I will see you guys tomorrow night. Good night.
All right, good night, Dee Dee. We'll see you right back here on StreamYard tomorrow night over on MFSN for the Cerebral Smack Talk. But slight disagreement here. I'm leaning more towards 6 myself. I think 7's a little too steep, if I'm being honest with you. It didn't really feel like a 7 out of 10 show for me, mainly because we had so many cutouts during this show tonight, too many squash matches, and we had like 3 or 4 squash matches on this show tonight, and the 24/7 silliness. But we did have that one really good match with Drew McIntyre and Cedric Alexander. A couple of good segments. The opening segment was fine, but of course, the one thing we're all going to remember from this edition of Monday Night Raw tonight was the surprise and unexpected return of Sasha Banks. We weren't sure when we were going to see her again. Considering what she had been doing all these months. This was the first time since WrestleMania that we saw her over 4 months, and we didn't hear anything, but they must have done a really good job of keeping it quiet here tonight. They surprised us big time. One of those rare times they played the unpredictability card, and we're all very happy about that. So that's all there is to say on that. And so it's a slight disagreement for me anyways. This was more of a 6 out of 10 for me. So, and the main reason why was because of, if it wasn't for the Sasha return, I would have gone much lower. I probably would have gone maybe 4 at best, maybe even lower than that. But the main reason why it's a 6 is obviously because of the return of Sasha Banks. So Sasha saved this show from being one of those average and mediocre shows. So with all that being said, let's get into my Tony's take. What I do is I give you my reviews and thoughts about 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. And I also give you a preview of what we can expect on the next Impact Wrestling as well. So let's start it off with 205 Live. We had 2 very good matches on this show. The first one being Humberto Carrillo against Lince Dorado. It went to a double count out at 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Normally I would say NA, but this match was too good. I couldn't do that. I'm giving it 3 stars. It was an overall good match, but it was not as smooth as it could have been, honestly. And then we had a 6-pack challenge to determine the number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. It was Oni Lorcan, Akira Tozawa, Kalisto, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, and Jack Gallagher. Oni Lorcan won the match in 11 minutes and 37 seconds. 3 3/4 stars. Very good all-action match that did not overstay its welcome, and it had the right outcome. Absolutely. 7.5 out of 10 for this show. Good streamlined show, focused on crowning Gulak's contender for SummerSlam and teasing a possible heel turn for Lince Dorado. So that's all there is I can say on that. So we'll see what they have in store for us tomorrow night following SmackDown Live. And let's get into this past week's edition of Impact Wrestling, which was once again over in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So we had Aiden Prince defending it was Jake Christ of OVE defending the title against Aiden Prince. Jake Christ wins the match. He retains the X Division Championship. I'm not going to give a review here. I'm only going to give you what happened here. Ace Austin against Eddie Edwards. Ace Austin wins by disqualification. A confrontation between Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards. He thought Alicia was, having an affair with him. Eddie was, very upset about that, so he left. And then we saw Alexia Nicole against Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne won that match. And then we had Taya Valkyrie defending the Knockouts title against Jessica Havoc. Jessica Havoc wins the match, but it's via countout, so she does not win the title. And then we had Stone Rockwell against Nate Matson. Nate Matson wins by disqualification because Rhino showed up. He's back to Man Beast mode, and I'm very happy about that. And then we had LAX challenging the North for the World Tag Team Championships. The North win the match, and they retain the titles. So that's what happened on this past week's edition of Impact Wrestling. And now we're going to get into into what we can expect for this Friday night's show, which will be on the Pursuit channel. And let's see what we have. Madison Rayne and Kira Hogan in Knockouts tag team action against Jordan Grace and Alexia Nicole. Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and RVD against the Rascals in a 6-man tag. The Deaners squaring off against the Desi Hit Squad. Moose going up against Falaba. And in the main event, Tessa Blanchard teams up with Tommy Dreamer to take on Sami Callihan and Dave Christ. So that all goes down this Friday night on Impact Wrestling over on the Pursuit channel, or you can watch it with MF over on the Twitch apps. So that's it. That puts the bow on this debut edition of Ridiculously Raw on our brand new home here on StreamYard.com. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in tonight. And we're going to bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher as he sets the table for the next edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. So MF, it was announced tonight. It was announced tonight that we're going to see Roman Reigns square off against Buddy Murphy tomorrow night. How about that?
We will, and we're going to be doing it on Wednesday night, guys. Normally, we always do it on Tuesday, but there is those cases where, due to my work commitments beyond my control, that I have to move it to the next night. So it's going to be Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on StreamYard, and we're going to be recovering and recapping SmackDown Live. And then from there, normally I do a Mikey's Mindset, but mine is a little more trickier because I normally branch out through other parts of wrestling organization. But there is one thing I do want to get into. The G1 Climax Tournament, we have a winner. The winner was crowned earlier this morning from Japan. The final match to decide the winner and to be the number one contender for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, it was either going to be Jay White or Kota Ibushi. One of these two men were going to win it. I have the result, and I have the man who's now the number one contender for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship of the world at Wrestle Kingdom, January 4, 2020, from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. And let me tell you, folks, you're going to be very excited to hear who it is. All right, guys, so we'll do that 10 p.m. Eastern. All right, Anthony, take it home.
All right, we'll do MF. And finally, friends, I know it's been a few weeks, but Friday night, we're going to have a Strictly Sports show, and we got a big one. Oh, do we have a big one coming up? This Friday night, we are going to preview the 2019 upcoming college football season. Yes, it's going to be our 2019 college football season preview edition of Strictly Sports, and we will also have our Major League Baseball power rankings as well. So I'm very excited about that. That's one of our big shows of the year, and it's a sign, friends, because, you know, our busy time is coming. It's rapidly approaching. So it'll be here in due time. The first few weeks, it won't be so bad. We'll have the Ridiculously Raw here on Mondays. We'll have the Cerebral Smack Talk either on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on MF's work commitments. And then for the first few weeks, we'll have college football Thursday, and we will have NFL Friday. We preview the college football games only for the top 25 action. And then we'll talk about the NFL, and we preview every game on the NFL docket for the week. We will get into that on Friday nights. And on Wednesday nights this fall, starting on October 2nd, we're going to have a recap show for All Elite Wrestling's weekly television series that will be airing on TNT. And that's going to be hosted by a man who's going to be coming out of retirement, if you will, our Imperial Grand Poobah and the original host of this program, the one and only hardcore pipe bomb himself, DFMRI 401. His name is Derek Ferreira. And we are all very excited to, be working with him once again. So very exciting stuff and very exciting content coming up. And I am so grateful and blessed that we have a brand new home, StreamYard.com. You guys are the best. You're the greatest. And we're very happy to be here. And we look forward to bringing so much exciting content to each and every one of you wonderful viewers out there. We thought we were going to be in dire straits once the whole Google Hangout and YouTube thing ended a couple weeks ago, but we were scrambling around trying to find a new home. We were going to use this site, but we couldn't get Bullock in. But thanks to MF finding a loophole, we got Bullock in. All is right with the world. So thank you, Lord. That's all I can say on that. So Wednesday night at 10, Michael Fletcher, good old MF, he will host the Cerebral Smack Talk. And then Friday night, we'll come right back here on my end, and we'll have Strictly Sports for the first time in several weeks. And we'll preview the college football season and do our Major League Baseball power rankings. And then we'll be right back here next week for Ridiculously Raw. So that is it. So until Wednesday night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, it's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and the hardcore pipe bomb Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching our debut edition of Ridiculously Raw right here on our brand new home here on StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, for those of you who have been with us since our hangout days, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.